So I would say horror on the PS1 was shaped by the console's technical limitations in some really interesting ways. One of them was the idea of pre-rendered backgrounds. The idea that there was not enough juice in that machine to do proper 3D backgrounds.
Although the PlayStation was a 3D console capable of rendering games with full polygons,
users lose all sense of reality and enter another world.
The cost of making that happen, and at the point in which Resident Evil was released, which is early on in the PlayStation's life cycle when developers weren't as familiar with the hardware, that led to the use of pre-rendered backgrounds.
The way we're going to create the illusion of 3D is that once your character hits a certain point, we are going to cut to a different shot. Like maybe this one shot is overhead and then this camera cuts and the next shot, the character is now facing the camera. You see precisely what the game wants you to see. Like, it's not even a workaround for limitations, it's limitation causing genuine, creatively brilliant decisions. Then, of course, infamously, you have the mist of Silent Hill.
That first generation PlayStation had a draw distance of about 2 feet in front of your nose before you get pop-up or, artifacts and things happening. So they solved that, and they just brought the fog plane like right there. And then they were like, wow, that's actually scary to move through that. And I feel like that must have been the aha moment where Silent Hill was born.
一番最初はやっぱりさっき言ったバイオハザードが登場してきて、すごいホラーゲームっていうジャンルがまだホラーゲームっていうジャンルが出来上がる多分前だと思うんですけど、ああいう恐怖をテーマにした作品を作ろうっていうことになって、サイレントヒルっていうのがチームが出来上がって。
My first experience in the Silent Hill world was my co-writer Patrick had picked up this game, and I remember watching Patrick play this game where he's walking through the fog, and he keeps walking through fog, and you hear a dog bark. And you come around a corner and you can't see more than 10 feet in front of you. And I'm like, this is terrifying.
The very first 5 minutes of the game are amazing. You see this disparate group of images, you hear this guitar twang playing this theme song, and you don't know, like, are we watching a flash forward, a flash back? What's reality? Because sometimes we're in the car with Harry and Cheryl, and sometimes we're like seeing the nurse and all these other things, and then we see Sybil, we crash. And then there's a guy named Harry, and he's just literally on a street, and off you go.
It's one of the games that's both visually horror and narrative horror at the same time. It's one of the very few games that actually does a really good job of that. I love my Resident Evil. Resident Evil is awesome, but it is basically, this guy is an even bigger demon than the last one, how am I going to take him down? Silent Hill, on the other hand, is...
What is this?
Oh my gosh, this thing is going to affect me deeply for the next few days.
At a time where scary games were kind of more about gore, or it was gun-based violence and shooters and things like that, Silent Hill just made this like very slow burn, slow-paced, very claustrophobic, psychological horror game that clearly just rang everybody's bell in the horror genre.
I'd seen games that had stuff that assaulted you and stuff that attacked you and monsters and whatnot, but I'd never seen a game that was relying on the absence of danger to be dangerous. So much of what makes Silent Hill so creepy is what you don't see. It's the sound design, it's the fact that you can't see that far in front of you. It's what could be around the corner that maybe never is. That's what makes Silent Hill so terrifying.
I'm so scared. Help me.
Silent Hill was a game about just fucking nightmares. It was a game about you can't go back to this thing that once was. And in the case of Silent Hill 1, it's this idea of memories. This little girl's memories that slowly become corrupted after she went through all these awful things, and you are now experiencing them.
No, I don't want to. Do what Mommy tells you now.
It felt dark, and it felt horrifying, and it felt personal. You know, it felt like something that was made by people that are hurting. Like, you know, people that were struggling in their own way. It just became so distinctive and beautiful to anything else that was coming out on the PlayStation at the time. It wasn't a mascot platformer. It wasn't that edgy brand of PS1 game. As much as it was told, be a clone of Resident Evil, it didn't feel like anything else. And it's to this day a fucking incredible game.